Hello everyone, welcome to Joe and Zach Survival. I'm going to do a little video here on making a fire starter that you can throw into your bug out bag, your survival bag, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm just melting up some wax here, and this wax here actually I went into, it's like a dollar store. I was right next to one and we needed dryer sheets, and I went in there and you could get 8 of those things for $1. I mean, and that's a pretty good chunk of wax right there. So I'm going to melt that down and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. Now my mom makes these not for any survival reason, of course, but she does it up at their cabin. Everything is heated with wood, and what she does is she takes her cupcake pan and puts in the little cupcake papers and puts the wax and stuff like that inside of there, and then lets it harden up and puts them in a bucket, and they use those to start the fire up there. And now we're not going to do anything that big. I wouldn't want anything that big in the bug out bag. I want it smaller. So what we're actually going to do is this is an egg carton thing here, and we don't have to fill it all the way up. But anyway, let me get this melted and we'll go through this, and I want to try a little experiment on here to see if it'll work. Okay, so the wax is about melted, and now when my mom does this, she uses pine cones, but she uses bigger ones, and takes these pieces off and uses that as the main thing, that and pine needles. I've got some pine needles here, some little sticks, and we've got our wax. So what we're going to do is just throw some of these in the bottom, and this stuff can stick out because this isn't a tinder that you want to burn here. All this is doing is being a whole bunch of different wicks when it does get burning. So we'll throw some of this in those. We'll just do a few of them. Poke that down, get some of this pine cone in there too, so it does, once it gets going, it'll be burning more than just the wax. Okay, the wax is done. Get this. We're just going to pour this in there. And now what I want to do here is a little experiment, is I want to try to get a piece of dryer lint to stick right in the top, but not get completely drenched, I'm hoping. Alright, so I had enough wax and did a couple more, so we got a total of 6 there. And now I'm going to let that wax harden up, and believe it or not, it's February right now and it's 40-some degrees outside here. Otherwise this would go a lot quicker. So let's give this a few minutes to harden up, and then we'll clean these up and we'll see what we ended up with. Okay, everything is hardened up now, so now we're just going to take and just cut these apart. And we don't have to be fancy about it, we just want separate pieces. I suppose you could do them in bulk. This is just egg carton things that you get them by the 100 to carry your eggs, but there's no reason to be fancy about it. All you want is the bottom part anyway. And this can break off, it doesn't really matter. I'll get all these cut out and then let's see how they burn. Well, there they are, all cut up. You can see they're not that, big or anything like that. And then you can do whatever you want to throw them in your bug out bag. I mean, I've got these plastic containers. We could throw them in there. Whatever you wanted to do. More than likely, all I would do, throw them in a Ziploc bag and be done with it. Just throw them in there. Now, I think what we'll do, let's burn one of these and see what type of a burn time they have. And then I want to do one more experiment. Okay, now this one here, we're just going to start it up with a lighter. Okay, got that going. Start our clock. We'll just see how, what we get for a burn time on that. And while we're doing that, I want to try something else. The reason I wanted to put that lint in there is because these are great to have in your bug out bag. I mean, or if you're just going camping, or make these when I go up to the tent so I can just start the fire without any lighter fluid or anything. Throw one of these in there and, you know, throw your logs in and let it go. But if you were really wet or something, or in a survival situation and you had to use your magnesium flint or your fire flint, whatever you want to call it, you wouldn't be able to light, I don't think, what's down there right now. So by putting that lint in there, I want to see if it'll take a spark. And granted, I'm not that great with one of these flint things. I mean, I've done it and it works, but Zachary's much better at it. But let's give it a try and see if I can get it going. Okay, we got it started. There, so that does work. I did scrape a little bit of the magnesium on there. I don't know if I would have had to, but okay, I do not think you could have done that without having that lint in there to get it started. Well, meanwhile over here, this is still going, and so far we are at 7:17, 7:18. Let's see how much farther that goes. I better get this one put out before I burn the picnic table. So I'd say, I mean, we're at 8:36 and it just went out. I would say you get a solid 8 minutes of good flame on that. Okay, everyone, well, I hope you liked that video. I mean, that's cheap. If I bought 8 of those candles for $1, that's a good deal. I mean, that's a lot of wax. We made 6 of them, and it was really simple. And that would be 6 fires that would burn at least 8 minutes, even if it was wet out. And if you had your starter like this, and you'd have a good, a lot of wood would start with that, even if it was damp. So anyway, I kind of like doing that experiment. That was fun. Thanks a lot for watching the Joe and Zach Survival Channel.